3 times 8 equals 23. Sounds absurd, right? Yet Confucius, one of the greatest thinkers in history, once said exactly that. But why would a man of such wisdom deliberately give a wrong answer? In this video, we'll uncover the fascinating story behind this puzzling moment, and more importantly, the timeless life lessons hidden within it. From understanding human nature to mastering the art of survival and wisdom, these teachings remain as powerful today as they were 2,500 years ago. Stay with us, because what seems like a simple mistake in arithmetic may actually change the way you see life forever. Story 1. The Farmer and His Impatience. Long ago in a peaceful village, a farmer dreamed of seeing his rice grow taller and stronger than everyone else's. He worked hard every day, watering and weeding, but deep inside he carried impatience. Each morning, he bent down to check the sprouts. "Why are you still so small?" he muttered. "My neighbor's fields already look taller. If you don't grow faster, I'll be left behind." One evening as the sun set, an idea struck him. "Perhaps the sprouts are too deep in the soil. If I pull them up just a little, they'll grow taller." To his restless mind, it seemed clever. The next morning he hurried to his field. One by one he pulled every sprout upward. His back ached, his hands were dirty, but he smiled proudly. "Now my rice is taller than anyone else's," he told himself. That night he bragged to his family, "Today I helped my rice grow. Tomorrow you'll see the strongest field in the village." But when he returned the next day, the smile vanished. The sprouts had turned yellow and weak, their roots torn. What he thought was help had brought only destruction. His entire season's work was lost. The villagers shook their heads. He rushed nature and ruined it. Ashamed, the farmer sat in silence, realizing his impatience had cost him everything. Confucius, upon hearing the tale, reminded his students, "All growth follows its natural rhythm. To rush what must take time is to destroy it. Whether crops, knowledge, or virtue, everything matures at its own pace." Lesson: impatience ruins progress. Growth takes time. Respect the process. Story 2. The Arrogant Scholar. In the state of Lu, there was once a young scholar who believed he was wiser than everyone else. He memorized books, quoted ancient verses, and spoke with confidence. When he walked through the village, people admired his knowledge, but also whispered about his pride. One day he visited Confucius. Entering the master's hall, he bowed quickly, then immediately began speaking. "Master, I have studied all the classics. I understand virtue, justice, and the way. I believe I am ready to teach others." Confucius looked at him calmly and asked, "Tell me, what is the first step in wisdom?" The scholar raised his head proudly. "To know the answers, of course." Confucius shook his head gently. "No, the first step is to admit what you do not know. Only then can the mind open to learning." The young man frowned. "But I already know everything I need." Confucius stood and led him outside. Pointing to the sky, he said, "Look at the heavens above, endless and vast. Then look at the earth beneath your feet. Do you truly believe your mind contains all its mysteries?" The scholar lowered his gaze. For the first time, his heart trembled with humility. He realized that true wisdom was not pride in what he knew, but the endless pursuit of what he did not. Lesson: pride blocks growth. Wisdom begins with humility. Story 3. Confucius teaches his son. One day, Confucius's son, Kong Li, came to his father and said, "Father, I wish to learn the lessons you have taught your disciples." Confucius was pleased to hear this and began teaching his son about the values of benevolence, propriety, and proper conduct. He said, "Remember, my son, a person must take benevolence as their foundation and propriety as their guide. Be honest and sincere in all matters. You must show respect to your elders, be considerate toward others, and continually strive to learn in order to improve yourself." Kong Li listened to his father's words, and from that day on, he devoted himself to study and self-cultivation. In time, he became a man of virtue and talent, admired and respected by many. This story emphasizes the importance of family in the education of children, and the role of parents in guiding and encouraging their children to cultivate both virtue and wisdom. Story 4. The Angry Man. In the market of Lu, there was a man known for his terrible temper. A single insult could send him shouting, and the smallest offense often led to fights. Though strong in body, his spirit was weak, for anger ruled him. One afternoon, after quarreling with a merchant, he stormed away and found himself before Confucius. Breathing heavily, he shouted, "Master, people provoke me, mock me, and treat me unjustly. How can I not be angry?" Confucius looked at him calmly and asked, "When you hold hot coals to throw at another, who gets burned first?" The man froze, unsure how to answer. Confucius continued, "Anger is like fire. You think it harms others, but it first consumes your own heart. To give power to anger is to hand your peace to your enemy." The man lowered his eyes. "Then what should I do when anger rises?" Confucius replied, "Breathe, step back, and ask yourself if your response will bring harmony or destruction. A noble man governs himself before he governs others. True strength is not in striking with fists, but in mastering the storm within." The man left in silence, his rage replaced by shame. Over time, he practiced patience, and people began to respect him not for his strength, but for his calm spirit. Lesson: anger harms you before it harms others. Self-control is true strength. Story 5. Yan Hui and the Fabric Shop Dispute. One day, Yan Hui, a disciple of Confucius, passed by a fabric shop where a heated quarrel was taking place. A customer shouted, "3 times 8 is 23. Why should I pay 24?" The shopkeeper angrily argued back, "It's clearly 24. You must pay the full amount." Yan Hui, unable to stand the argument, stepped forward and said politely, "Elder brother, 3 times 8 is indeed 24, not 23. You must have miscalculated," but instead of calming down, the customer grew furious. He snapped, "Who asked you to judge? Only Confucius can decide." The shopkeeper quickly agreed, and they all went to Confucius. On the way, the customer declared, "If I'm wrong, take my head." "But if you're wrong," Yan Hui confidently replied, "if I'm wrong, I'll resign from my position." When they arrived, Confucius listened carefully. Then, to Yan Hui's surprise, he smiled and said, "3 times 8 is 23. Yan Hui, you lose. Give your hat to the man." Though confused and upset, Yan Hui obeyed and handed over his hat. Outwardly, he submitted, but inside he felt his teacher had acted unfairly. The next day, still dissatisfied, he asked to return home, and Confucius allowed it. Later, when Yan Hui came back, Confucius asked, "You still haven't let go of that incident, have you? Tell me, in front of the fabric shop, how many people were there?" Yan Hui answered, "Dozens." Confucius asked again, "And who did they think was right?" Yan Hui admitted, "Most sided with the customer." Confucius nodded and explained, "If I had declared you right, would the customer have accepted it? Would the crowd? No, they would have attacked you. By declaring you wrong, I was actually protecting you." Through this lesson, Yan Hui realized that wisdom is not always about proving oneself correct. In life, being right is sometimes less important than ensuring safety and peace. Even the most reasonable argument may be useless if people refuse to listen. Sometimes yielding can save you from harm. The story teaches that survival, harmony, and wisdom often matter more than stubbornly proving you are right. So why did Confucius say 3 times 8 equals 23? Not because he didn't know math, but because he understood people. Sometimes survival, peace, and harmony matter more than proving you are right. In a world full of conflict, this timeless lesson reminds us that wisdom is not about winning arguments, but about choosing the path that keeps us safe and allows us to grow. If this story made you think differently about life, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more timeless lessons from Confucius and other great minds. Remember, the true test of wisdom is not in knowing the answer, but in knowing when to speak and when to stay silent.